Time soon, get out to the West Coast, or you're just gonna dive into the business?
I am. I typically try to take my boys somewhere for spring break. So I think we typically like to do spring break skiing. We just haven't done it. We didn't do it last year. So I think we're gonna head back up to Banff. So we'll fly to Calgary, get direct flights here from Houston, and then it's like an hour and a half outside of Calgary.
Now you're talking Doogie's language. So Doogie is with our group, and you live in Colorado Springs, right, Doogie? Yeah. So he's on the mountain. You're probably on the mountain like 3-4 times a week right now.
Shoot, I wish I was on the mountain 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, it sounds like I wish I was on the golf course 3 or 4 times a week. I can't do it right now.
So Doogie is an outdoorsman, man. He likes to get up on the slopes.
Nice. I'm a pretty avid skier. I don't get out there as much as I used to anymore, but I try to take at least one trip a year.
I love it. Well, we are going to have, I'm sure that we'll have a bunch of people join as we get started, but just because this is being recorded, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, my friend, and give everybody a sense of and a reminder of kind of what this is. So if my team's on, if you guys can just send a reminder to other teammates and or your relationships, just to make sure they don't miss out on this. So it's officially 1 o'clock. So I'm going to introduce the Black Ops. I'm going to introduce my buddy Jeremy. So just so everybody knows, Black Ops is a mastermind or a presentation. It's kind of morphed into a presentation from one of the top real estate coaches in America every month. And so the coach, we rotate coaches every month. And so this month we have Jeremy, who's one of the top guys in Utah, one of the top guys in the country. And we rotate through different real estate coaches again every single month throughout the year. Sometimes we have conflicts and everybody has to listen to me coach for an hour. But aside from that, we like to put the best of the best in front of our relationships to add value. We hope to provide, I just want everybody to understand this. There is no magic pill on this call that like you're going to listen and tomorrow you're going to start closing 5 deals a month, 10 deals a month, 20 deals a month, whatever it is for you. But what we are going to provide is one of the best in the industry that shows up, that's a professional, that has a referral-based business, and that's really going to give you, there's no reason everybody on this call shouldn't get 2 to 3 tactics in the next hour that you can't, starting today or tomorrow, implement into your business to get an extra closing a month. Literally, like you should be able to close 12 more deals this year just by implementing some of the amazing tactics that Jeremy's going to share with you today. So with that, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that this is just a presentation by one of the best in your industry, literally one of the best realtor professionals in America. He's going to tell you exactly what he does. He's going to encourage you to do a couple of things that he teaches today. And if you do that, really, it's just up to you. Take the baton, implement, and you guys will see immediate results. And in my opinion, just this 1 hour can equate to $50,000 to $100,000 more in gross revenue for you in the next 12 months. So with that, my man. So Jeremy, the last time I had Jeremy on was probably about 18 months ago. He had just become a coach for the Core. He was obviously one of the top producers in America at that time to be able to become a coach. And I didn't even really know you at that time. And so you were so kind to give me your time, and you came and laid it down, and everybody raved about your presentation. But since then, man, like I've gotten to know you on 2 different trips. I think we spent some time as teammates, as coaches together, man. And it's so good to get to know you. This guy's one of the most fun human beings you'll ever meet. There isn't a moment that goes by that he's awake that he doesn't try to have fun and live life to the fullest. And Absolutely. So with that, the thing that reminds me of you, buddy, is like the whole term work hard, play hard. I don't think I've met a realtor that embodies that phrase more than you, brother. Like you work hard and you play hard. You put up huge numbers on the real estate side. You make a ton of money and you have a lot of fun. So I love that about you. So guys, I hope whatever you do, if you're on this call right now, I know Jeremy would appreciate it if you guys could put yourselves, like turn your videos on if you can, like as presenters, as coaches, we like to read people's emotions and just engage with people. So if you wouldn't mind, put yourself on video. And then with that, if you wouldn't mind, do yourself a favor and turn off all like your second, third screens. Turn off your phone right now, turn it upside down if you have to, because if you're anything like me, you're a squirrel. And as soon as it shines, I have to look at it and pick it up. So you guys, if you just block everything out for an hour, if you open both ears, this dude's going to shove lots of good stuff in the middle of that space right now. So with that, buddy, thank you so much for joining us. Like, you guys have no idea, this guy's time is probably worth $1,000 an hour. So Jeremy, I really appreciate you giving me your time. Truly, like, I know you're a busy dude, especially at the beginning of the year. So thank you, buddy. I truly, truly appreciate you, and anything I could do to return the favor, just ask.
No, I appreciate it. Brian's such an awesome guy. You guys are lucky to have him. Whatever state of your relationship is with Brian, I think he's a fantastic guy. Oh my God, I'll never forget how he proposed to Brooke on stage I guess it was it a year ago now? I guess it was a year ago.
6 months ago, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
man, geez. When's the wedding, by the way?
That's a good question, Brooke.
Oh,
Don't
is it-
Don't
is it-
ask, don't
I
ask,
just-
Jeremy.
Oh, there's Brooke. Oh, I didn't see Brooke was on the call. Hey, Brooke.
We'll let you
Hello,
know. You're
don't
invited.
ask.
But no, I appreciate being on here today, guys. Happy to share. That's what our culture of the core is all about. I know Brian probably shares a lot of stuff with you guys personally. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. So I've been selling real estate. This will be my 17th year in the business. I've been a coach now. This is my 3rd year being a coach. And, I have, just looking at my production from last year, but as a team, we did 255 units, a little over 120 in volume. I run a pretty tight ship. I got 13 people on my team total, based out of a suburb north of Houston called the Woodlands.
Oh, I said Utah. I don't know why I said Utah.
There's a Jeremy Larkin in Utah. I knew where you were going with
Yes,
that.
yes.
It's funny. So that's kind of funny story. So I get calls all the time for people in Utah about wanting to sell real estate. This guy must have a pretty good business there. And we'll start sending him referral agreements.
Yes, Houston. I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
no, it's all right.
When he said 120 in volume, I want to make sure everybody understands what that is. It's $120 million in volume that this man put up last year in 2022, when everybody thought the world was ending in real estate. He still put up 120 million. All right, buddy, I'm going to pass it back.
I was up. It's funny. So, and Brian, I don't know if you had your coach in the coaches call today, but we all had to go around the room and ask, hey, how far up or down were we for 2022? And I was one of the 3 guys that were actually up for the year. So I was up 11% last year. And if I can, I guess, attribute it to anything, is, man, I am super dialed in on my purpose and my intention that I as far as getting my leads for my business. So I do feel like I'm very relational. I think that is probably the difference between where my business is now compared to where I started. I have a very relational business where I would say, years ago is very transactional. At one point, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I just want to just give perspective. I mean, at one point, I was, between myself and my team, we were doing 600 units per year for 300 million. I'm doing half the business now, and I'm making probably 5 times the money that I made back then. That's just, I've been very intentional about dialing in my business, being very purposeful about where I'm spending my money. And I understand that this is a contact sport. And I will tell you, I know this class is about, this Black Ops is all about, focus tactics to jumpstart your 2023. I'm going to share with you guys what I'm doing. I can't sit here and tell you if it's going to work 100%, but I will tell you what I'm doing just based on past successes. And I hope you guys can take some good stuff away from this call today.
No doubt we will. Can I ask you a question before you get started?
Certainly.
Can you expand a little bit? And I want to make it clear, because I think a lot of times when, like, realtors on this call, they'll jump on and they see somebody like you and they hear the numbers that you put up. Sometimes I think people equate that to maybe buying a lot of leads or buying this and that, but you are a referral-based business, right?
Referral based. I do a little bit of Zillow buying in high price point neighborhoods, but outside it's very minimal. So
Cool.
but outside of that, I mean, I am very, 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 very warm business.
I wanted to make sure I clarified that. The second thing, before you start, can you just give I don't know, a Reader's Digest version explanation of what you mean by you used to do 600 units per year and make 1/5 of the money you make now. Now you do 1/5 of the business, but you make 5 times more. So can you explain what that means a little bit and how that equates to getting into coaching, the intentionality behind that?
Certainly, I would tell you if you knew a Jeremy from 10 years ago, he was very egotistical. I was, I'm still an animal today, but I was a different animal back then. And I've literally set this goal that I wanted to be the #1 real estate agent in Houston. And so I set this goal and I didn't care what got in my path. I didn't care how it took to get there. I wanted that trophy. I was a trophy chaser. If I'm being real honest, I was a trophy chaser. And it's funny, once you get there and you get to the top and you start looking at your paycheck, you're like, man, really feel like I should be making more money, but I didn't have any perspective. So, once I became a student of the core, when I, bought into coaching in general, whether you're in the core or whatever coaching you're part of, you should have some sort of coaching in your life for sure. But, it definitely gave me perspective. And I'm like, wait a second, you got people like, the Dayton Traders of the world and, these big agents throughout the country that were part of the core at that time. I'm just like, man, like there's got to be a better way to do this. And so it really came down to business efficiency. So making my business more efficient, making my business more warmer. So I did a lot of builder business in particular back in those days. And a mentor of mine made me look at that part of my business and run that part of my business as a separate business. And, I started looking, so I ran a P&L on it and looking at it, I was like, man, we're losing money every month that we're doing this. Like, why are we doing this? We're not getting the return out of it. So, but the one thing it did do for me, it did give me the ability to, I've created all these contacts over the years, right? We're doing all those transactions. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm in a relationship with all of them to this day, but it gave me a great baseline of how I wanted to build my business in the future. So, I made a conscious effort a decision I want to have a warm business, right? So a warm business to me is somebody that, that either they like or know or trust me, or I like, know, and trust them. And so it became really purposeful around that. And, just over the years, it's blossomed into this beautiful thing.
I love it, man. So just really intentional on a referral-based business and knowing his numbers. And I think that gets lost on people, especially people that start their businesses by buying leads. Like, we really don't understand the return on investment. Like, yeah, you might spend $1,000 on leads for a month and then sell a deal from that. And so you make 10,000, but how much time, effort, energy goes into all that stuff. So anyways, that's what he's talking about. So with that, Jeremy, like you said, and if we can mute this room, sorry guys, we can hear everybody talking in the room. So if you can go ahead, I'm going to give it back to you. Start with the focus tactics on exploding or kickstarting your 2023. Thanks, buddy.
Sure. All right. So to me, so I made a goal for myself for this first quarter in particular. This is about extreme contact for me. All right, so I'm going to break it down. I figure I'll speak for the next 30 minutes on this. So if you guys have questions, please write down your questions. I'll leave about 10, 15 minutes at the end. You guys can fire away. I might be happy to answer anyone's questions. But to me, this is all about extreme contact. And I have 3 specific groups that I am targeting. All right, so for me, and Brian understands this as well, we run off of to start a really warm referral business, you have to understand who is going to send you those referrals. So I work off of a 75 person VIP list.
Can you turn this up?
Yeah, hold on one second. Hey, Weichert Block, can you guys put yourself on mute, please?
Yes, we will, and we apologize.
You're fine. Thank you.
I forgive
guys.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
And we're so happy to have you.
So to me, I want to define what a VIP is to me. So like I said, I work off a 75 person VIP list. All right. So to me, a VIP is somebody that can either send me 2 to 3 deals plus per year, or they're a highly influential person. They're that connector to me. All right. So I went back, back in my early journey of developing my VIP list, I had to look at the people that are in my life and have to make a decision. Okay, who are these people that are going to be VIPs to me, right? Who has the ability to refer me, at least 2 deals per year? That's how I started. I think if anybody does not have this list or isn't working off this type of list, that's a good baseline to start. You're looking for people that could give you at least 2 referrals per year. Now I have people on my VIP list that can refer me 10 plus deals per year. Once you get to something like that, that's a beautiful thing. So that's how you 10x your business. I'm not trying to go all outside of my expertise here, but I'm just telling you that is a beautiful place to be once you get to that point. So to me, like a lot of VIPs in my life. So now, like I told you early in my career, I had really good builder relationships. So a lot of my VIPs early on were people that were, new home salespeople that were in their offices, the builder executives, so on and so forth, that were referring me, either big chunks of deals or very lucrative deals to me. So that was kind of a start for me. And, now it's grown into financial planners, attorneys, HR people. I just, Brian can relate to this. I'm going to speak to whales here momentarily. But we're on this whale hunt right now. I mean, I'm chasing after the Houston Rockets right now. I'm chasing after Hewlett Packard. Like I'm going after some big time referral based people. And those are the kind of people you want to be in relationship with. I had a mentor of me teach me this. I want to teach this to you guys. It was so impactful to me in my life. So I had a mentor of mine tell me, he goes, well, Jeremy, because I think I was complaining that I didn't like who I was doing business with. There were some people in my life I didn't like who I was hanging around with. And he made me go through a list of, okay, so what are the traits that you like to see in people? All right. So he made me go down his list of 15. And I love people that are competitive. I love people that are, I love people that are athletes. I love people who are loyal. I love people who are competitive. I love people that have, aligned values with me. And so I went down this whole list of 15. I think I was able to come up with 12, if I remember correctly. So I think I came up with 12. And then the next assignment from that was, okay, well, what are the 3 most important on this list? All right. And so I had to have a serious conversation with myself, like, okay, so what are my 3 most important values that I want to see in people? And then I started basing my entire, whether it's my VIP list or really any relationship in my life, based on these 3. If they don't have these top 3 qualities, I don't want to be in life. I don't want to be in life with them. I'm not going to waste my time with them. So I started understanding that my time was valuable, and that I only want to spend that type of time with those types of people that I know that are like-minded values, and have the ability that we can grow together through business. All right. So that's a key to a VIP is, it can't be one-sided. To me, it has to be a reciprocating relationship. One of mine and Brian's mentors talks about the ATM concept, right? You have to put deposits into people on a super high level before you can start asking for withdrawals. But once you get to that point in a relationship where you're very purposeful with each other about, hey, listen, I want to help your business. I know you want to help mine. How can we help each other? It's a beautiful thing. So, when you're looking, so I would say for everybody on this call, VIP is you have to start identifying people in your life that have the ability to refer you on a super high level. That's a good baseline.
I love it. So let's just start there, guys. So he talked about having a 75-person VIP list. 75-person VIP list. So guys, if you reach out to me or anybody on my team, like within the Constellation region, like your loan officer, like we can get you a VIP list that we already have created, that we can send you exactly what Jeremy uses and all the information that you'll need to be able to utilize the list, and literally tells you exactly what to do with the list every single week, month, and year.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And there's lots of tactics around that, but I would tell you that would be especially if we're looking at jumpstarting the first quarter of this year, you guys have to identify who are people that in your immediate life that you don't have to put a whole lot of extra effort into right this second, right? That you can go to, you can get in front of, have a conversation with, have the conversation. Wait, what can I do for you for 2023? And then you set the expectation, what they could do for you for 2023. And then just straight up ask them, hey, can I count on you for 1 or 2 deals in 2023? Of course, you'll know exactly where you're at in that relationship. They're going to say yes or no. They're likely going to say yes. And that gives you permission to follow up down the road.
I just want to stop you again really quick. So I love it. I'm taking notes, by the way, and I'll have 2 pages, 3 pages full by the time we're done. But I think one of the most important things that Jeremy just said that he does, and some of the most successful, whether you're a realtor, lender, whoever you are in business, is you have to ask. So he literally said, can I count on you for 2 deals this year? So Jeremy, I'm assuming all 75 people get asked that at the start of every year.
In different ways, not always that, that's
right.
I mean, I think if you're going to ask it the first time, you need to be real direct.
Sure.
But yes, no,
you-
for
you
sure.
aren't afraid to let them know what your expectation is, that they're on the list and that you're hopeful and to count on them for 2 deals this year.
Absolutely. And
Okay,
of course, you
well.
hope for more than that, but yes, obviously but yes, I do, I'm very purposeful about that. And then as far as, then when you're talking about these VIPs, so for me, again, it's a contact sport, right? So I'm trying to get in, these are the people that I'm trying to get in front of the most. All right. So for me, outside of a listing appointment or maybe a high-end buyer that I'm working with, these are the people I want to spend 70% of my time with. All right. So what does that look like? So to me, so like some of my people are in, like I said, some people are in new home sales. They work for builders. So I'm going to their sales offices, just popping in and saying hi. I'm just getting in front of saying hi, visiting, just, I typically like to bring in some sort of gift with me of some sort, something small. But I just go in there, I share a lot of appreciation and, have conversations, get to know them better. And, but the other thing I'm very impactful with this point I want to get to in this, when it comes to VIPs, something that's been a game changer for me is having small leveraged events. So I have divided my VIP list into people that have call it liked traits, qualities, whether it's industry, whatever it may be. And I'm trying to get those groups of people together. So as an example, I'm hosting a poker game next week at my house. All these guys like poker. They're typically golfers. They're gamblers. Okay, so these are these are fun people to me. These people kind of people I like to hang out with, and we can have conversation. But they all have like qualities, like interests, and it's easy to get those people together. I'm typically leveraging my house. I want to make it as personal as possible. Then I have some people on my VIP list, that are very much family people, right? That maybe they don't have a lot of friends, but like spending time with their wife. Right. So my girlfriend and I will host small dinners at my house, but I'm being very purposeful about small leverage events. I'm trying to do one per week. And that is a lot. I will tell you right now, guys, that is a lot. But start somewhere, whether it's once a month, just start somewhere with, but what I would encourage you is, like, I'm a big believer in small leverage events because, I could easily put an event together, and I have one coming up this weekend where I could get 200 people in a room. But can I effectively have 200 conversations, like really deep, great conversations? The answer is no. So that's why I like getting a small group of people, to typically somewhere between 5 to 10, and then that way I can have those types of conversations, and everyone's kind of listening to. That's why I like poker games, because they're typically quieter. You know what I mean? And I'll hire a dealer for the night. It's super cheap. It'd be under $500 probably for the night. Bring a little food. But I'm big about. Another one for me is I've got a group of guys that like to golf, so I'll put like a couple 4-man groups together, and we'll golf, and then we'll hang out in the clubhouse afterwards. I'm big about leveraging my country club. So I just believe, like, these types of people you want to spend a lot of time with. If you could take anything away from what I'm saying right now, identify, even if you start 10 to 20 people that you think are high quality, that you have common interest with, and spend more time with them.
Let me just stop. So a couple pieces of gold right there, everybody. So I want to make sure, I know everybody heard it, but I want to drive the point home. So small leveraged events, right? There was a time, I know, Jeremy, you probably are guilty of this. I'd put together 100 people in a room, and
Yes.
I'd talk to 6, and I felt like I wasted my time with everybody
Yep.
else, right? So small leveraged events, intimate events, and just some other ideas. And maybe not everybody likes poker, maybe not everybody does some of the things that Jeremy does, but book clubs are extremely valuable opportunities for small leveraged events for successful people. A lot of successful people read a book a week, a book a month, etc. So a book club. Some other examples might be, maybe you share a personal trainer workout once a week.
Yes.
Maybe some of you like wine, so you can do like a wine club, wine tasting once a week. So there's lots of things. It just depends on who you are, to Jeremy's point, what you like. And then identify other people that have the same interest. That's what he's saying. It doesn't have to be what Jeremy does. It could be just a small leveraged event that you like. But the important thing that Jeremy notes here is, like, those who don't get, right? And so if he likes all these people and he calls them, he may not get the same results as when he actually gets belly to belly with them. So I want to encourage everybody, as a professional real estate agent, you have your own professional business, that's who you are. You're a professional business owner. You have to do these things in this industry because it's a highly influential, high I type of environment where, you know, the more somebody knows, likes, and trusts you, they're going to refer to you, and you can count on them if you ask them to refer other like-minded people. So I just want to drive that point home. Great stuff, Jeremy. I've got already a page of notes.
Very good.
I
Yeah,
need to get
I
a
think,
poker event going myself.
Yeah, and I just said, even if you start somewhere with just having dinner with a couple people, you know what I mean? Just start somewhere. Everyone's got to eat, right? So get 3 or 4 people that are like-minded together. Just go out and have dinner somewhere. You know, just that be. I think it's hard to do business if you're not belly to belly. I'm not a big believer in, and just a phone call is going to get the deal done. You have to get in relationship with them. I mean, if you guys don't have I'll share one relationship tactic with you. As far as rapport building, if you guys have never heard of it, I use Ford all the time. Ford: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So I'm trying to find some connection between families, find some connection between us, between our occupations. Something like for me, like I'm a big golfer. So I mean, if I start having to talk about college football, if we start talking about college football or golf, that's a great conversation for me. So that's our recreation or our dreams. Like, where do I want to be? Like these are great. Those are great next level conversations as well. Once you get into a relationship with a VIP, like, where do you want to get to? What's your house look like? Maybe you don't own enough real estate. Like, then you get to be that expert. So if you don't have a rapport tactic, that's what I've used for almost my entire life. I think it's very effective. There's other ways to do it as well, but that's how I do it. I tell you what, why don't we do this, Brian? Why don't we ask a couple questions around VIPs? So
I just want to encourage you guys. So really quick, what he said: Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dream. So Jeremy asks these people, these 75 people, those things, like, what do their families look like? Are they married? The anniversary dates? What are their kids' names? What are their kids' birthdays? What's the spouse's birthday? What are the spouse like? Just those things. The occupation, what do they do? Dive deeper into that. Recreation, what do they like to do for fun? Like Jeremy, golf, you know, skiing, poker, and then dreams. Like he said, like, what do they want to accomplish in their career, and how can you help facilitate that? How can you be a part of that? So I want to be really clear. That's what he asked, and I guarantee you that 75-person list, he knows all about all of that for every single one of them, and they all know it because he makes sure that he lets them feel that he knows it, and he wants to support that. Jeremy, I want to rewind really quick before we open it up. You said that you dropped by, and like some coaching companies call it milk routes, some call it pop buys, depending on the coaching platform, right? What do you, like, as an example, if you're visiting a realtor, you're visiting, you know, a state and probate attorney office, like, what are some of the examples of small little gifts that you bring by? I want to
So I do company swag. Like, here, I got one sitting on my desk right here. So like, I just have, I have a notepad. It could be your own personal brand, whatever that looks like. I'm leaving the stuff maybe with a card, right? So especially the Popeyes it's a great call, Brian, because that's what we're doing with our estate attorneys right now. I'm trying to get these appointments, right? So we're just dropping off little swag gifts. I'm leaving a note, and I'm trying to get those appointments. So, but yeah, so I got here's a coaster. I forgot that I had that. We got a coaster right here, right? So just something cheap, like it doesn't have to be anything expensive. I would say what 2 of the worst things I see in coaching is people are not purposeful about asking for business, and they spend way too much on gifts, especially in the realtor world. It's like, hey, we're not all $1 million listening. Don't fall for all that stuff that you see on TV. Like, thoughtful gifts are super impactful. Personalized, thoughtful gifts. And to Brian's point, when he mentioned earlier, yes, so I do know everything about my VIPs, but there's also a tactic around that. You want me to dig into that, Brian?
Yeah, please.
I have a form called an All About You form. So they don't necessarily know it's called an All About You form, but I send out I have an All About You form at every single one of my VIPs. I'm trying to figure out what their favorite drinks are, favorite candy, favorite sports team. I'm looking for all this stuff. And that's the whole purpose of that, is for intelligent gifting. But I'm also another kid, so I send out birthday cards to their kids. That was something that happened to me, and it blew me away when it happened to me. So I instantly implemented that. So I mean, another great tactic that I've done is, man, you love on someone's pet, their dog. You said, like, so I just give you an example. I picked up a listing the other day, and their dogs loved me when I was in their house. It was a $1.5 million deal. I didn't gift them, I gifted their dogs, and they ate it up. But that's the kind of love you want to make impact in someone's life. You want to, as opposed to just giving somebody a bottle of wine. And then, I mean, I would say, I'll be very transparent. My team made a mistake the other day. I go to closing, and I have a bottle of white wine, a nice bottle of white wine. I just assumed that this was on their All About You form, right? That was a bad assumption on my part. I have a customized blanket with their name on it and a bottle of wine. Well, they're not drinkers. So how stupid did I feel at closing?
Yeah, I've made that same.
You know what I mean?
mistake.
So anyway, what I like about the All About You form, it helps you gift intelligently. I think it helps you get a deeper connection. I love the fact that, you know, and I'm not big about wedding anniversary. I don't necessarily track that. Just gotta do so much other stuff. But man, the kids' birthdays, guys, if you don't write anything else down, write that down. Celebrating one of your VIP's kids' birthdays, next level.
I agree, guys. So if you don't have a birthday program yet in your business, I think it's something really important to try to structure in the month of January this year for 2023. And really, like Jeremy said, focus on the kids' birthdays, focus on pet gifts, those things. I'll tell you, one of the biggest raving reviews and raving responses that we got from one of our clients was when, you know, my team, Brooke specifically, we sent like a $7 or a $6 pet gift. And it was like the coolest response we've ever got. So I would highly encourage that you, and by the way, the All About You form that he referenced, you guys, I created this for my team probably 8 years ago. So if you guys want a copy and you just want to copy exactly, change out my logo, put on your logo, or change a couple of the things on there, feel free. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Either, you know, my team will provide this to you, or the loan officer that you invited you here today will also provide you a copy. And you guys like use it because it works. Like be intentional and be intimate with your gifting instead of general. Right? Not everybody loves Starbucks. Not everybody loves a bottle of wine at closing. Not everybody loves these things. In fact, I'm not a huge Starbucks guy. I'll drink it, but it tastes burnt to me. So anyways, like when
Honestly, it's funny, Brian, I'm the same way. I get Starbucks gift cards all the time. I just end up giving them to my teams. I don't drink Starbucks. So
yeah. So be intentional and be intimate with your gifting, and that'll change a lot for you and your ability to get to benefit from referrals. So you guys, with that, any quick questions for Jeremy at this point? But I love the All About You form. If you guys don't have an All About You protocol in your business, I would highly encourage you to implement that immediately. Okay. And then gift on that. Like as an example, anytime that we get a lead, right, a new buyer lead, and we take their initial information, we always ask them their candy. And as soon as we get their favorite candy, we immediately, whether or not they use our team or not, whether or not we ever talk to them or not, we will send them their favorite candy to be impactful. And that usually helps our conversion percentage and our ability to get future referrals from that client. So those two tactics are huge.
And the realtor world translates the same way for me. If I go to a listing appointment or something like that, if I don't get the deal right away, I'm following up with the referral gift. I'm following up with the gift period, no matter what, because it gives me that extra chance that it's going to look better than somebody else.
I love it. All right, guys. So we got a realtor in here, one of the top realtors in Houston, Texas, 300 units a year. Last year, 120 million. Like, you gotta have a question for this man based on what he just talked about. Any questions? Either that or I'm an amazing moderator, Jeremy. I'm going to take all the credit. Like I've like anticipated all their questions and got the.
Well, listen, I could talk an hour about VIPs alone. that's a whole game right there. I'm trying to give these guys, if you guys even do 10% of what I'm saying, it'll change your business.
All right, here's what I want everybody to commit. I'm going to give everybody homework if that's okay, Jeremy. So listen.
Yep,
by the end of the week, I want everybody to have a list of 25 VIPs that they start to work with. 25, start there. By the end of January, I would love it for you and your business if you can expand that to 50 VIPs. Now, here's where the magic is. Once you start to get the information, so when you start contacting them, visiting them, etc., you have the magic to take care of them at a high level. We call it a wow plus one experience. So when you visit them, like Jeremy will show up with some stuff. I guarantee you he shows up with a favorite treat of theirs every once in a while, and he'll gift their pets, and he'll get. So we need the information in order to take great care of them and to break any relationships they might currently have that they refer to because you're that much more impactful. But we've got to start somewhere, and we got to start with the list that Jeremy talked about. Now, he's an overachiever, so he's got 75 people on his list. But I promise you, when he first started this with the core, when he became a student, it was only 50. Okay, now he's gone to 75 just because he has the capacity to do that and he has the support to do that. But I want to encourage everybody on this call to start with a 50 VIP list by the end of January. If you do this effectively, you will for sure get another 12 deals this year that you didn't have prior. Cool? Can we all do that? Okay, next, the 50 VIP. Now we want all about you form information on all 50. Okay, so that's the second part of the homework. We need to get all their information. We need their mailing address, their spouse's name, their anniversaries, their birthday, their kids' names, their birthdays, their hobbies, all that stuff. We want to make sure we get all that stuff, because then we can tactically start to use it effectively to get business from them the rest of the year. Okay, so that's your homework assignment. I do have a question. How do you ask for them to fill out the all about you form, or how do you send it out, Jeremy?
All right, great question. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like we talk about contact sport. All right, to me, this is a great reason to just make a phone call. And you just, I'm very direct and like purposeful about it. I'll let them, hey, like, I'm just trying to get a little more information about you. Like, and some of the information I already know, right? Just organically through the relationship. But if you're starting from scratch, right? So like, you know, if I'm taking on a new VIP, that's a whole different conversation. But if you're saying, okay, here's 25 people, I need to get all about you forms on, just call them and ask them the questions. Now, I've seen other ways of doing it. I've had students of mine send out, you know, a digital PDF out to them or via text message or whatever. You can get it that way. I'm just more personal. I want to have that conversation, right? So like I'm big about, I need to get X amount of conversations every day, X amount of face-to-faces every day. That's a reason for me to call somebody. I like doing business on the phone. I don't love doing business via text message. I do very little to no email. I hardly check my email. So to me, it's all about like, I want to have this kind of conversation.
Yeah, I love it. So, Adriana, just so you know, so I had a little like a little trepidation around this when I first started a long time ago. And then I realized the best tactic for me when I was talking to people on the phone is I would just let them know, like, look, I'm putting together a birthday program. So would you mind if I asked you your birthday? Once you guys ask people their birthday, most people are like, cool, he's going to send me a gift. And once you get the birthday, all the rest of the information is super easy to get. Okay.
Yep.
All the rest of the information is super easy to get. So a really good tactic is just to start letting them know you're building a birthday program and get their birthday, their family's birthdays, etc. And then you can get their favorite hobbies and stores and cupcake flavors and, you know, coffee drink and adult beverage. You can get all that stuff after if you want.
Yeah, and to even take it a step further, I mean, this is your opportunity to let them know they're a very important person in your life. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I've identified you as a very important person in my life, and I want to celebrate you on the highest level when I get the opportunity. When is your birthday? What do you like? Blah, blah, blah.
All right,
Fantastic.
Brian, I have some questions.
Yes, Dean, thank you.
All right, good. It's the perfect topic to start the new year off with. I was really inspired by previous Black Ops with, I believe, Ken in Tucson. And we talked about, I mean, obviously you had the system in place as well. So yeah, this is probably one of the most highly leveraged programs anybody could implement, in my opinion. I had 2 really good team players this year that sent me. The majority of my business this year came from 2 VIPs. And then after that, they've been showered with gifts and praise since then. So I'm glad Jeremy's on the call, got some good notes. I've already put the request in for the VIP list system because I think that all of us can make our lists, but implementing a year-round system, I mean, we can call it a multi-point touch system if we want to. Yeah, that's going to be important. So having a system, whether it's going to be somewhat automated, obviously the pop buys, mailings, things that are physical will do their own thing. I also like Jeremy's advice. I know that you, Brian, are more of a mail out a list and get a response kind of guy. I think Jeremy's kind of collecting information. I think you just have to play that by ear. But for my main question, I kind of wanted to take some of Ken's ideas and take them to the next level and combine them with some of the successes I have. So being in BNI, and also the fact that so much of my business comes from allied resources and other businesses, I did put together a preferred vendors list. I'm gonna turn off my screen so I can show it to you, but I put together a preferred vendors list this year that I mailed out with all of my holiday stuff. Let me see if I can add this.
Thank goodness.
And that was
I gotta
nice.
tell you, Dean, I had a little envy about where you were, so it's good to know it's just a background because
Yeah. Well, here's all my leads. But anyways, I had the so the preferred vendor list was nice. You know, so I took a template off Etsy. It's 27 different vendors that I work with and send business to. And on the list, like so many of them have also sent me business. So the preferred vendor list, I liked the idea because it was highly leveraged. It was kind of integrating some of the ideas with Ken, like people that are already VIPs. I mean, 1/3 of my VIP list are people that are already preferred vendors anyways, but I know both of you are familiar with BNI, but just the giver's gain, like I've given so much referral business to these people that, and I have some relationships through BNI and the Chamber of Commerce that it made sense to put together the preferred vendor list. And then once I had it, it's the same thing as the VIP treatment, where everybody's just so grateful that I included their business on the list, and they were just so enthusiastic to refer me that I printed out the preferred vendors lists, I laminated them myself, then I mailed like 5 or 6 copies to each of the vendors in my network with a thank you and a holiday card and all of that. So I just kind of wanted your thoughts on the business to business building towards the referral list versus the business to client.
Great.
Yeah,
question.
No, I definitely have, I have a vendor list as well. You know, the other thing, and I was going to get into this is probably a good lead into what the next thing I want to talk about, because I want to talk about the database. And I'm saying this because another reason I like the vendor list is there's many ways we can reciprocate business, right? So for me, a way of vendor. So let's say I have a general contractor I refer a lot of business to. Now he doesn't necessarily send me a lot of direct business because I keep him so busy he doesn't have time to probably, but he has the ability to fund some of my events. So to me is okay. Well, if you can't, maybe what would be helpful to me is like I have a movie event coming up this weekend, right? So I have about over 200 RSVPs for this already. But I have vendors of mine that I don't like the word vendors, relationships I have with people that are going to fund this deal for me. And I'm gonna give them some praise on stage. I'm going to give some stuff away and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, that's a way they can pay me back for the business as well that I give them. So yes, I definitely use the vendors. I think it's a powerful tool. If you really dial it in and use it well, it's a very, very powerful tool.
So I just want to commend Dean. Thank you so much for sharing that. So this is a mastermind, and the fact that Dean, you just shared your preferred lender list, the fact that you found the template on Etsy and just some of the tactics you used around it. I love that. I think we can all have a preferred vendor list, and to both Jeremy and Dean's point, like maybe if they can't refer you a lot of business, they can, if you refer them a lot of business, for sure, they can help you fund your marketing endeavors. I love that, and your events and things like that. So, and the other tactic that I love from Dean is Dean said he was intentional about sending a thank you card or a holiday card to all the people on the list, right? I can't remember if you said.
Yeah, and I mean, I forgot to mention too, like I also mailed this to every homeowner in my database. So I sent out like 150 with holiday cards. So it's also just on my desk for like first time home buyers. So they'll get that and the new Gary Keller book for first time home buyers. So that's what I'm pairing for the new year.
Fantastic. Some really good tactics right there. Thank you so much for sharing, Dean. I truly appreciate it. All right, Jeremy. So does anybody else have any questions around the VIP list for Jeremy? If not, I will ask one more question, then I'll let him move on. So Jeremy, you got 75 people. I think it's really difficult for the average realtor to call 75 people, once a week. So tell them exactly what you do with this 75 person list and how often you call them, how often you see them. What are your goals around this list?
So I'm talking to them about every 3 weeks on average. So I try to call 20 every Monday. Those are the calls I make on Monday. Very purposeful about which calls I make on what days. And so I mean, so they at least have one phone call with me, probably a call once a month to be safe. They get at least a call from me, and I'm actually trying to get in from once or twice a month. So because at the end of the day, I'm not looking to. I'd rather have a smaller business, a smaller group of people that I love on that give me all of my business, right? So if I get that, and when I say my 75 list, so I have my teams on there as well. Okay, because my team are my VIPs. They also bring business to the table, so they're VIPs to me. I actually have a top 10 friends list. So when I'm going back to those non-negotiable traits that I have in people, these are only people I spend my free time with. And then of course, I have the people that send me direct business. But those are only, I mean, I'm calling them at least once a month at a minimum, a lot of times or once a week, because I love talking to these people. It's a beautiful thing when you get to a place where you look at the people you have to call for the day, you're like, I don't want to call this person. You know what I mean? But instead of the people like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk to this person. Oh my God, I haven't talked to Jeff all week. You know what I mean? I can't wait to hear how his Christmas was or whatever. You know what I mean? I love, it's a beautiful place to be in once you get there.
Let's break it down further. So he calls 20 now. Can I count on you? Like, is this an integrity thing? You're calling 20 from that list every single week, right?
I would say I'm pretty close to that every week.
15
yes.
to 20. All right. So
I promise you I'm talking to 20 per week. Is it 20 every Monday?
okay, so that was the second question. So what day of the week do you call them, right? What day of the week?
For me, it's Monday.
What time of on Monday do you call them?
I'm calling right anywhere between 10 to 12 is I have structured time in my schedule for this. So between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. I'm calling them.
Cool. So listen, guys, those who don't block out time and put it in your schedules, you won't do it. I promise. So the next tactic that Jeremy just shared is he has a structured time block in his schedule every Monday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Right? And I promise nothing interferes with this. And this is the time where he's calling 20 of the people on the VIP list every single Monday. So that's his time. That's what you do, right? Exactly what you do, Jeremy.
Exactly what I do.
And brought you tons and tons and tons of business by doing this every single week throughout the year.
If you just focus on that VIP list, it'll change your business.
I love it. I love it. And then you can weave in introductions like Dean said from his preferred vendor list, right? Hey, do you need any help with any of these different trades? Because I'd like to make introduction.
That's right.
So fantastic. All right. So now we know exactly what Jeremy does, what day he does it, and what time frame he does it. Okay. So that's somebody who does 300 units a year, 120 million in volume. You make well over $1 million a year. And it's really not that complicated. You just do the same thing over and over and over again, right?
That's right. And then,
Awesome.
and then being very purposeful about who you're spending that time with and who you were calling.
What else do you do with this list?
Yeah. Good question.
So you call them every Monday.
Yes. I gift them. So they have, so like we talked about the birthday program. So they get a birthday gift from me that I hand deliver. Very rare do I mail something to a VIP if I can help it.
Okay.
However, I will share one other tactic with you guys. And this is super next level. But I would say, so I send out cheesy gifts to my VIPs every single month. Now those do get mailed. And my team executes that. It's some cheesy thing around referrals. So it's like we send out these glow sticks this past month that said about some, your referrals brighten our day or something like that, whatever it was. But it's something super cheesy. It gets mailed to them, and I get so much response on that alone. People are like, "Oh my god, I love this thing!" Or it's like somebody your referrals were popping was one of them, and it's like it was like November or something like that. So they get these pop rocks with a little note. It's super cheap, guys. I think we're spending $200 a month on it, something like that. So we find something super cheap that we can buy in bulk. And then we're mailing it to the people in our database.
Every person on that list, at least 50 of them, right? Not your team.
All of them. No, even my team members get it. That's purposeful.
They get a cheesy gift once a month. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Perfect, guys. So
that's super next level. I mean, I hope you guys get there. But I'm saying if you're starting with nothing right now, don't worry about that till you get that list up.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But if you have the capacity, I'm going to give you guys in certain markets, you guys can do this, believe it or not. So there's something called TaskRabbit.com. Okay, so if you don't have a team like Jeremy's, there's something called TaskRabbit. It's not in every single market, but it's in most big markets around the country. And so what you can do is you can put up a task that says, hey, I want to send out 75 gifts, right, on this Friday of the month. And I need somebody to come and stuff some envelopes and put some gifts in and mail them. And it may take 5 hours. And so you will have either unemployed people or students or partially employed people. They will literally go on there and bid for that job. And believe it or not, some people will say, I'll do it for $40. And then somebody else might say, I'll do it for $37. And so literally you can get almost free help, like very inexpensive help to come and do these things and supplement your business when you don't have the ability to hire somebody full time. Okay, so TaskRabbit.com. Really easy resource to do some of these things that Jeremy.
I wrote that down. That's good. That's gold right there.
Yeah. So
or do you have teenage daughters? We may or may not use our teenage daughters for this.
Yeah, or you have, I mean, we don't call it slave labor. We just call it family labor.
They get paid an allowance to do this.
So that's fun. That's funny, Brooke, because I actually have used my sons to write my thank you cards before. Like, thanks for sending business to my dad. Like that's kind of next level stuff too. But
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So real fast, guys. I just saved the All About You form and the VIP list on blackops.work. So you have it. So how you get to it is at the bottom where you sign up for February's Black Ops. It's going to take you to another page, and it has all the documents that I just saved at the bottom of that second page. So you can download both of those. The All About You form is the Shudo team one, but email me if you need anything else.
Cool. And then, so Jeremy, we call them at least once a month. You said usually about 1.5 times a month on average. We see them, or you try to see them 1 to 2 times a month, right?
Yep.
So he does these milk routes or pop buys.
Mhm.
He sends them a cheesy gift once a month. And by the way, if you guys want examples of cheesy gifts and the cheesy message, just let us know, or let your loan officer know. We'll get you a list of, what do we got, like 200 different examples at the core, Jeremy, that we can
Yeah,
get to
I
them.
didn't reinvent anything. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, we don't have to reinvent anything. We'll get you guys those examples. He has small leveraged events that he invites them to. He has a birthday program that he has all 75 on. And so he has all about you forms for all of them. So these are some of the basic tactics that we learned so far to leverage highly successful people and highly leveraged people with big spheres of influence that know, like, and trust you. You know, like, and trust them. And so you can get in relationship with them and literally benefit from their sphere of influence. Because, guys, I don't care what you think about the market right now. The market's the market, but what you make of the market is what matters. And so Jeremy isn't letting a down market dictate him. He just told you he's up, what do you say, 4%?
11% for the year.
11% and a down, the market in general was down 50% last year. So he was up 11%. So he makes his own market by being proactive and doing these things every single week over and over and over again. All right, buddy. So we got like 11 minutes left. I would say you got about 6 minutes left. I have to go see our boss next on the top of the hour myself on our coaching call.
Okay.
So
Don't be late to that.
no, is there
He's on
anything
fire
else?
today, by the way.
Oh, great. Is there anything else that you want to give to them?
Yes.
And then we'll
So
open up
I just want to touch on, I think that another super important piece of trying to jumpstart your 2023 is we need to leverage the business that we've already created, right? So I'm talking about the database. I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys that I think are musts, and you must do. All right. Number one is I'm hosting a client event on Saturday. I'm doing a movie private screening of the Puss in Boots movie. And we've already got 200 RSVPs. These are great events. I mean, they're phenomenal events. I get the best turnout for the movie events. I'm actually eliminated all other events for next year except for the movie events for 2023 as far as past client events are concerned, just because they're so good. We get so many people come out. I would typically keep it around a kid themed movie as a tactic. I did do a opening weekend of Star Wars. It was like a couple years ago, and I actually had to get two movie screens. It was crazy, but I wouldn't count on that for every time. So to be safe, I would do some sort of kid movie, family oriented movie. Those are my best events. We do drawings at the event. If they give us a referral during the event, we do a separate drawing for that. So if they give us contact information for a possible lead, they get entered in a drawing. We typically do a big drawing at the end of the year anyways for our past clients that send us a referral. Usually give away some sort of, usually we do a cruise because we're here in Houston. So I've got, they can afford out of Galveston. So we're usually doing somewhere $1,500, $2,000 cruise, which is nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about, if you're getting 100 referrals a year from your database and you're giving away, $1,500 cruise, guys, that's nothing compared to the power of getting those referrals. So that's usually one of our big ones. So I think that's a must. You have to have some sort of client event as quickly as possible in the first quarter. You got to get reconnected with your database. Second thing
is
is
homework assignment real quick before the
Yep.
second thing. Everybody, if you don't have a past client event planned in the first quarter, like get one planned, do something basic. If you don't have enough money, it's $2,500 typically to reserve a movie theater of that size. But if you don't have enough, if you're just getting started, we don't partner with another realtor, partner with a VIP, partner with us, partner with somebody. If we can fill a room, we can all benefit. Jeremy, I'm going to give you a quick tactic. Reserve the back 2 rows for your the people that refer you most, and put signs with their names on there.
Oh, I love that. Interesting.
All right. So what was tactic number 2?
All right. So tactic number 2 is, so I'm really big about the letter of the heart. I'm explaining what the letter of the heart is. It's something I send out. I was doing it bi-monthly. I'm sorry. I was doing it. Yeah. Every other month I was doing it. Now I'm doing it every month. And it's literally just a glimpse into what is happening into Jeremy Larkin's life. I show a ton of vulnerability. Like, Brian, I think I got yours. I think I got yours the other day. Was it? Yep. I got yours, or that was last month, maybe. but anyways, it's a glimpse into your life, sharing that you're not like, so for instance, the problem in our business is, I call it, especially over the last 2 years, is that you'll get in these deals, right? You I'll go on a listing appointment. I'll knock the listing out of the park. I get it sold in a day. Then they're in escrow for 30 days. Then I'm done with them. That's a tough, that is not a lot of time to build a relationship or really get to know each other, right? On the level that I want to. And so that letter to the heart shows them that I'm not just a robot. I'm not just a salesperson. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that's human being. I suffer. I go through tough times in my life. I go through growing pains with my kids and myself and relationships and so on and so forth. So I'm not just bragging. I'm sharing pain. If I can give you any sort of advice, the more vulnerable you are on these things, the better response you will get.
Yeah, because it's really easy. The old Jeremy would have talked about how great he was and worn his success as a badge of honor. The new Jeremy wears authenticity and vulnerability as a badge of honor. And so I love that. I love that you could do that. So what he said was letter of the heart. Again, this is another thing that you guys can use TaskRabbit.com for. You just have to write the letter. You can hire somebody to come and stuff envelopes to send out to your database. It's one of the most impactful things for us as well, Jeremy. Our clients love it. Our referral partners love it. So I love that he does that. So if you guys don't have a letter of the heart, remember 50% of your clients will use you because they think you're the best and most qualified. However you position yourself to make it seem that way. The other 50% could care less about that. They're going to use you because they like you and they feel connected to you, or they want to get to know you better. So that's the truth. And so we need to appeal to both. And I think a lot of us make a mistake that we want to market ourselves on social media as being so successful, or we just listed or just sold or all these accomplishments. And we forget about the authentic side of you. The reason the other 50% of the population will hire you. Okay. And so Jeremy, I love that you shared that. I think that's huge. And so if you don't yet do a letter of the heart, I would highly encourage you to start with 1 1/4 minimum for a year. Okay. And Jeremy does it every month, trust me. But for the rest of you, start somewhere and commit to it. Okay. So with that, Jeremy, you have 2 minutes to wrap it up, and then I'm going to thank you. So I put in here, you asked where you could find and download the form. So it's www.blackops.work. Okay. So you guys can find that stuff there. Any last questions for Jeremy? Otherwise, I'm going to let him wrap up. I think I'm just really amazing moderator today.
Or maybe I'm a very clear speaker, and I give him
you are very clear with your tactics. Everybody was they understood everything. Okay, so I want
to close with 2 things then. So I want to make sure that you guys don't just use the All About You form for your VIPs. Use it for your database as well. What a great way to reconnect with your database and asking those questions. Hey, how are you doing? How's everything at the house? Hey, I'm starting this program. You're a very important client to me. So you can use the All About You form for that. Have a birthday program for your past clients as well. I would say, and then I stepped it up to the next level and have birthday program for their kids as well. And I would say some of the best text messages and stuff that I get, or social media tags, is was like, oh my God, they sent my kid a $5 ice cream card. So think along those lines. As whatever you do, make it as impactful as possible, right? So think along those lines. How impactful can you make this program? It's like if you just do a letter of the heart, you just talk about yourself, and it's not impactful. Well, it's not going to be it's not going to impact who's reading it. So you got to be vulnerable. Just play big. Play at a big level for this first quarter. And I promise you, it'll carry forward to the rest of the year.
So that's a wow from you guys. If Jeremy or any one of you sent my daughter an ice cream card, $5 gift card for her birthday, that'd be such a wow for me. And it would just put you on a different level in terms of like how I valued you, because you valued my family. So that's huge.